Good morning. This is R.N. Bhaskar from BKBB. The start of a new week. Welcome to our 31st episode. And as you know, Bhaskar Ki Business Baatein, which is a full form of BKBB, deals with policy analysis, stories, conversations every week. But every morning at 8:15, as you can see now, we give you news behind the news, where we take a few headlines and talk about a few more things that papers don't talk about. And today I've got my two co-anchors with me. I've got Isha. Welcome, Isha. Nice to see you here. And I have Anurag. Anurag, welcome. Good you're here. Okay. Now, we have three headlines for you this time. Let's look at the headlines first. The first one is Trump removed the tariffs from phones, computers, etc., etc. Why? The second is where more money is being poured into northeastern roadways and northern roadways, and this is something that we need to discuss. And the third one is why were LPG prices hiked? A perspective on that. And just as a reminder, before we begin an analysis, please click the subscribe button, click the like button, but most of all, tell all your friends about us. We do things that many people don't do, and we'd like more people to know about it. And one more reminder, to the end of each session, we try to respond to a few questions. Please send in your questions and comments. We'll try to see if we can respond to them as well. Okay, let's get back to the story. The story, of course, revolves around Trump. And Trump has the ignominy of being a president that actually made America shrink in just a couple of weeks. He's also got the ignominy of sympathizing with the deaths that take place in Ukraine, but remains silent about the larger number of deaths that take place in Israel. It's an irony that is not lost on the world, especially when you kill medics, you bomb hospitals, you bomb women and children, and America keeps quiet. Not done. And this time, in a way, the world retaliated in a very unusual manner on his tariffs. Trump removed the tariffs from phones, computers, chips, semiconductors, etc. There's a list of 20 items that has been given to the customs. Was it a change of heart? No, I don't think so. You can't associate a heart with Trump, right? Okay. But the real reason was that all of a sudden, the Treasury panicked. Every time, periodically, governments always go to the market with bonds. And through bonds, raise money at low rates, which they use for various purposes. And when the bonds are redeemed, they come up again for a new borrowing spree. This time, when bonds are floated, they found that the bonds were not being subscribed to. To make the bonds attractive, they increase the coupon rate on bonds. And when they raise the coupon rate on bonds, even then, investors did not pick up the bonds, and 20% of the bonds had to be picked up by banks, by special investment funds at the persuasion of the government. What that meant was that foreign investors did not want to touch a US Treasury fund. They found the risk element in the US so great that even the higher coupon rates did not attract them. And if this money, if investors don't invest in US bonds, the entire economy comes to a crash. It was the bonds that frightened Trump more than the stock market. The stock market is a small segment. Bonds is a lubricant that drives the economy. When the bonds crashed, when the coupon rate, in spite of the coupon rate, bonds were not subscribed to, Trump realized there was trouble ahead and immediately eased tariffs on a major chunk of imports, which is phones, which go to the common man, computers, which also is used by almost everyone in America and in India and around the world, And when that happened, and semiconductors and whatnot, there are 20 items. If the treasury markets feel nervous even after this, expect all the tariff rules to be changed the next month. Trump has suddenly realized that markets are bigger than his powers as a president. Trump has suddenly realized that economics is greater than the presidential executive order. Watch the space. Watch how the markets teach Americans a lesson. And that takes me to the next story. And the next story is by Isha on roadways. Isha.
Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining me. The story I'm bringing you today is from The Hindu and it's titled Center Planning 10 lakh crore investment to rejuvenate highways, says Nitin Gadkari. The Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari has said that over the next 2 years, the center has planned an investment of 10 lakh crores to strengthen the country's highways, especially those in the northeast. In an interview with the Press Trust of India, Gadkari talks about how there's an urgent need to augment the road infrastructure, especially in the northeast, given the difficult terrain and its proximity to the borders. While he states that work is underway in all states, including Maharashtra, Gujarat, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Rajasthan, and Delhi, there is a special focus on the eastern states with an estimated allocation of 3.73 lakh crores just on the eastern states. You can see the exact breakdown of these across the five states of Assam, Bihar, West Bengal, Jharkhand, and Odisha on your screens. Um, so these projects in the eastern states plan to cover a distance of 21,355 kilometers across different projects by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, the National Highways Authority of India, and the National Highways and Infrastructure Development Corporation Limited. Mr. Gadkari also talks about the massive mass rapid transport pilot project, a sustainable and cost effective bus service serving 135 people in one time that is underway in Nagpur. And he talks about how he plans to replicate this across the country soon through major routes like Jaipur, Delhi, for example. So once this project is implemented and seen through, it will then be kind of expanded to other locations across the country. He also states that the length of the national highway network has expanded significantly, growing from 91,287 kilometers in March 2014 to 1,46,204 kilometers at present, with significant improvements in standards as well. This endeavor hopes to improve the country's infrastructure drastically, bringing it to world class standards. And this development is a good thing because it should increase accessibility and connectivity, in turn making it easier for commerce and trade to flourish. But it also asks us to see like what the environmental impact is and what the quality of these roadways are and what the maintenance of older roadways, how the older roadways are being maintained. But interesting story, good news overall, I think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, sir.
Thank you, Isha. Yes, this is a very interesting news. But only two funny observations. One, the newspaper talks about how the roads will be at par with the US. The US has the worst roads. You should have said at par with China's roads. They're the best roads. Okay, that's point one. Point two is an observation that the Northeast is better connected with waterways. And in his previous tenure as a minister shipping, around 2008, 2015, he made sure that water transport was strengthened, A, because it's cheaper, B, because the environment is safe, and three, because it was the best way to reach anything across anywhere in the Northeast. I wonder why the government changes plans now. Because when you spend money in the Northeast, A, it harms the environment, B, it's expensive, C, you have such heavy rains there that the roads get washed away. So I don't know why the government decided. Third is that the allocation of funds is for the Northeast and the North. He's forgotten the South. He's forgotten the West. Those are also parts of India. And of course, he's not made the decisions. The center has made the decisions. The center needs to be asked, why has he forgotten the rest of India? But Isha, it's a good story. It's a very important story. Thank you. And now we come to the third story, which is Anurag's story. on LPG. Anurag can help.
Good morning. Earlier this month, the government increased the price of liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) by 50 rupees per 14.2 kgs of cylinder, which will be effective about a year. The reason for this hike is basically the evolving demand and supply. To give you a perspective, the number of total LPG connections in India is around 329 million in 2025, which has increased significantly from 149 million in 2015, a decade ago. Oil companies estimate that 99% of Indian population is now covered by LPG connections due to its increased affluence and government schemes like Pradhan Mantri Ujjwal Yojana, under which a single LPG connection is priced 300 rupees lesser than the standard price. Now on the domestic production front, the oil companies are far behind to meet the increasing demand of LPG. In fact, the production has gone down from stagnant 12 to 13 million tons since 2017 and 2018 to now 11.7 million tons in the financial year of 2025. The rest of the demand is fulfilled by the LPG imports, which takes care of 60% of its demand, and which comes from India's traditional fuel suppliers being Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and UAE. India has also increased its LPG imports from the USA. The government has budgeted 11,100 crores for LPG subsidies, with addition to periodic transfer to oil companies who claim to bear losses in selling LPG cylinders. The chart shows that in financial year 2023, the center had transferred 22,000 crores to the loss-bearing oil companies. And more interesting than that, during the Lok Sabha election in 2024, the government had reduced the LPG prices by 100 rupees all over India, despite the demand and production discrepancies. What's your take on this, sir?
Good point, but the government is very, very glib about these things. The fact is that these subsidies are always there, these prices are always there. When global prices decline, the government's administrative other prices should decline. If the global prices come down and the government's prices go up, it means the government wants more money to spend on other things. All the stock of subsidies is just a cover up. Anyway, thanks a million, and thanks for this bit of information, very useful. And now I come to the third part, and that is this is the end of the show. Please remember to click the subscribe button, to click the like button, and most important, tell your friends about us. And that brings me to the final part of the function of the event of this discussion, and that is the questions that are coming, the comments that are coming. The first comment is about Trump first reduce tariffs for Apple, then for all phones. Will you also cover other products? Yes, I think you will have to. If the next treasury auction does not generate enough money from investors, he has to build investor confidence. And for that, he may have to roll back his tariffs. He may not like it, but the economy is stronger than a person. And that gets us to the second question. Why has the government ignored the rest of India? Well, politics. North India has the votes. Bihar is important for elections that's coming around. Northeast is important also. And secondly, I don't think the government likes the South very much. If you look at the delimitation exercise, if you look at the way politics works, and that is why, since most of the southern states are not BJP states, could this be a government's way of not allocating funds for a crucial sector like roadways? And the third question is, will the government reduce LPG prices? No. The government needs money. It's going to lose money through customs. It's going to lose money because of declining exports. It's going to lose money because of slowdown in industrial production. So it will pick up other ways to make money because it has the subsidy schemes and the vote purchasing schemes to continue. And that is why I expect the state of affairs to also continue. And this brings me to the end of today's session. Please tune in tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. We like to see you again. We'd like to get your views and tell everyone about the work that we are doing. Take care. Have a wonderful day ahead and a wonderful week ahead also.